This conference will now be recorded.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am Rajni Jain on behalf of agricultureinformation.com. I'd like to welcome you all to this online meeting. Please take a moment to review the guidelines for this online meeting posted in the chat window. I now request the moderator, Mr. Lakshmipati, to introduce the speaker and start the meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Rajini. Good afternoon, everyone. I am Lakshmipati. I will be moderating this meeting. Agricultureinformation.com likes to welcome to this meeting Professor Dr. S Antil, the Principal Advisor in Soil Sciences at Amity University, Noida, UP, and former Director of Extension Education, CCS, HAU, Hisar, Haryana. Professor S Antil will be speaking on the topic Integrated Nutrient Management for Sustainable Crop Production, Limitations and Future Strategies. I now request the speaker to begin.
Thank you very much.
You're
but
welcome.
This is not seen on the full screen now. Hello.
Organizer.
This is not. I'm not able to see everything on the full screen.
Dr. Antil, we are able to see your presentation and we are able to see you also.
Okay, but the presentation is only this table. They will come only on the half of the way. It should be on the full screen.
Sorry, I didn't get you.
No, he is not.
You are not able to see the complete slide.
He is not able to. You can guide him to reduce.
I am audible, but what I am saying that whatever I am showing this table, everything you can see first slide, it is only half visible. So it is not on the full slide. Slide is not on the full screen.
Okay, so what you can do is you can just go back to the edit mode or the normal mode and then again try to come in the slideshow mode.
No, if I will click this collapse, then it will be on the full screen.
No, you can start once again share the screen. You can start sharing the screen once again.
Okay, but it may not be good for the audience because they will not able to see the whole slide. So
we are able to see the slide very clearly.
But I'm not able to see. I'm able to see only the 70% of my slides.
Okay, then you go back to the edit mode and do the slideshow presentation once again. Go back to the edit mode.
No, but I'm not able to find the edit mode.
Okay, you can stop sharing the screen. You can stop sharing the screen and once again share the screen.
Because it may be problem for you. You may not able to see the whole you can see all slide on the whole screen.
We are able to see the entire screen, sir. We are able to read. The entire page is in front of us.
You are okay, but I am not able to read the whole screen.
That's what the organizer is suggesting is you can stop sharing the screen. You can put off the screen again. Start sharing the screen again. You can remain on camera. Stop sharing the screen.
But now that sharing is also not able to do. Okay, I can speak. You can, because there may be problem for you, but may not for me. Okay. The topic of, so first of all, I am very thankful to, very good afternoon. I am very thankful to the organization for inviting me to deliver a lecture. So the topic is already understood, this integrated nutrient management for sustainable crop production. What are the limitations and what will the strategy in the future? I am not able to move the slides.
Yes. Dr. Antil, yeah, it's going.
Okay. First of all, what do you mean by integrated nutrient management? Integrated nutrient management is nothing but the combined use of fertilizer, manure, crop residue, green manure fertilizer with the two objectives. First, we have to sustain crop productivity on long-term basis and also to maintain the soil health. Now, question arises, what is sustainable agriculture? Sustainable agriculture, nothing but the successful management of natural resources for agriculture to satisfy changing human needs with two objectives. First, to maintain the quality of environment and to conserve the natural resources for our future generation. You can see this table shows the extent of micronutrient deficiency in India. If you see, compared to 2002 to 20, in 2020, at present, more than 90% soil, they are deficit in nitrogen, 80% in phosphorus, 50% in potassium, and 41% in sulfur. If you see during the last 18 years, almost of all the nutrients, the deficiency is increasing at an alarming rate. If you consider in India, almost you can say more than 90% soil, they are deficit in nitrogen. So it is a very alarming situation. Next slide shows the extent of micronutrient deficiency in India. If you compare in 2002 and 2018, the deficiency of zinc is decreasing, although the deficiency of iron, manganese, copper, boron increasing. The reason being, why it is decreasing in case of zinc? Because farmers, they are adding zinc. But if you see iron, manganese, copper, they are increasing, but they are increasing at a small pace. You see, in light texture soil, we are taking this rice and wheat cropping, the deficiency of iron and manganese are increasing at a very alarming rate. So it is a very alarming situation. You see, the food grain production of India roughly increased to 6 times during the last 70 years. So it was 51 million ton in 1950-51. Now it reached to 297.5. So roughly 6 times. If you see the fertilizer consumption, when India was during 1950-51, India we are using only half kg of nitrogen per hectare. Now it is around 133. Although in previous few years it was reached up to 148 or something, but at present it is 133. If you see the NPK use ratio, it is quite disturbing. When India was made in 50-51, this ratio was 8:1, means we are using 8 times higher of the nitrogen compared to phosphorus and potassium. Because the ideal NPK use ratio is 4:2, so we have to use roughly 2 times. But you can see in 50-51, we are not adding this phosphorus and adding very small amount of phosphorus and potassium. So you can say, although our food production is increased roughly 6-7 times, but there is a problem also. This increase in products also created a problem of nutrient imbalances due to extra mining. Extra mining means the wide difference between nutrient removal and addition. So situation is alarming. So we have to maintain our soil health if we want to sustain our productivity in long-term basis. If you see before 60s, we are importing food grain from other countries. But then 70s, green revolution came. In that green revolution, the fertilizer, pesticide, varieties, insecticide technology played an important role. And you can see all this increase in 7 times yield is only because of this green revolution technology. Although there is improvement in this you can see use of the green revolution, but there are some negative effects also. First, decline in total factor productivity. Next, depletion of groundwater table, because we are taking this high yielding variety, more rice, so we are exporting the water from the lower bases. Decline in soil fertility, because in India we are not using excess fertilizer, we are using imbalanced use of fertilizer. When you are using imbalance, then there are the problem. So it may lead to decline in soil fertility, loss of biodiversity, soil salinization, and there is also development of the resistance of some weed. For example, flourish minor. After 2 years, so we have to bring new recommendation to control that, because all the insecticide, herbicide, what you are adding, that is become resistant against this flourish minor. In Hindi we call madusi. So it is a big problem. This shows, if you consider in 2010, I have already told you this, the difference between removal and addition is your negative balance. So in 2010, the balance sheet, if you see the balance sheet of Indian agriculture, it was 10 million ton between the gap between removal and addition. But at the time, our food grain production was 241 million ton. But in 2015-16, it has been reached to 13 million ton. In 2015-16, our food grain production was 252, 3 million ton. So situation is worsening day by day. As the government of India announced doubling the productivity by 2050, then situation would be more alarming. So in 2050, demand for food production will be 333 million tons to feed the population of 1.7 billion. We have calculated production and productivity rate during the last 10 years. And what we have found, if you see this table, production or productivity in both the cases, compounded growth rate either declined or stagnated in most of the crops. So situation is quite alarming. Now we have taken feedback from farmers. They are stating that they are told that we are using more and more fertilizer every year to obtain the same yield what we are getting in the previous year. Now question arises, what is the possible reason for this? First possible reason for decline in productivity or stagnation in product, number one, extra mining of nutrient, means we are adding less, removing more. That is extra mining. Number two, we are using under and improper use of organic manure, means we are not using quality manure. If you see in India, manure use ratio is less than 1 ton per hectare. We are using very small quantity of this manure. Imbalanced use of fertilizer means we are adding higher amount of nitrogen compared to P and K. Ideal should be 4:2:1, but we are adding in a higher. And situation is more worse in these 6 states in the zones. And the decline in organic matter. If you consider almost 90% of Indian soil, they contain carbon less than 0.5%. To sustain our productivity should be between 1 to 1.5. Situation is quite alarming, and this organic matter is declining every year. So you can say organic matter is considered to be the heart of the soil, but when it is decreasing, situation would be alarming. Now question arises, what is the possible solution for this? Possible solution for this, to check this nutrient mining, sustain crop productivity, soil health on long-term basis is possible through integrated nutrient management. Integrated nutrient management technology developed very old in 90s. Now you can say due to the widespread efficiency of this deteriorating soil health, the concept of INM was developed. Now what are the basic objective of INM? Basic objective of INM is to reduce the requirement of chemical fertilizer. So first objective that we may reduce the quantity of fertilizer used. Next, to restore organic matter of the soil. Third, to improve the physical, chemical and biological condition of soil. And all three will be improved, then ultimately your use efficiency would be improved. And the basic objective is to increase the farmer income. You see, this table shows the fertilizer response ratio. Fertilizer response ratio is nothing but the kg grain per kg NPK applied. If you see during 60-69, it was 12.1. Now it decreased to 5.1. Mean during 70s, when we are adding 1 kg of NPK, we are getting 12 kg grain. But at present situation is quite alarming and very worse. When we are applying 1 kg of NPK, we are getting only 5.1. Now question arises, what are the possible reasons for this? Why this fertilizer response is declining with time? The possible reason is our climate is tropical, or you can say subtropical. When the climate is tropical, temperature is high, the rate of decomposition high, the losses would be high, so it will affect your fertilizer response ratio. I have already discussed imbalanced use of fertilizer. And burning of crop residue, as you know, particularly rice straw in Punjab, Haryana, and this western UP, more than 80% of rice straw is burnt in the open field. And there is also a climate change. In climate change, there are two factors, temperature and carbon dioxide. Even the temperature, night temperature is more important than day temperature. Even there is a fluctuation in small temperature at the time of harvesting, your yield may be decreased. Dr. Swaminathan predicted, if there is an increase in temperature between 1 to 4 degrees centigrade, 6 million ton of our wheat grain will be affected, particularly Punjab and Haryana. And the last reason is poor crop management. Now question arises, why it is very important to maintain soil health? To maintain soil health, there are our two objectives: to sustain crop productivity on long-term basis and to improve the soil environment. Now question arises, why we are adding organic matter to the soil? Why it is necessary? Number one, if you add organic matter, it will improve the physical, chemical and biological conditions of soil. When all three will be improved, ultimately your nutrient use efficiency would be improved. Because if you are applying fertilizer, it is supplying only one nutrient. When you are applying organic matter, it will supply both essential and non-essential nutrients. It will reduce the nutrient losses, mainly of nitrogen, as leaching and volatilization. and fixation of this phosphorus and micronutrients. So when we add this organic matter, it will decompose, release acid, then all the nutrients, they are fixed, they will be released and come in the available form. It will increase the buffering capacity of the soil and also provide favorable environment to microflora. Now question arises, what is the role of organic matter? When we are adding organic matter, it will increase the organic matter in soil. When it will increase, what is its role? It will enhance the capacity of the soil to resist changes in pH. Next, it will increase cation exchange capacity. As you know, cation exchange capacity is controlled by two factors, clay content and organic matter. When this organic cation exchange capacity is increased, you can see it will improve the property. It will reduce P fixation, because P fixation is a big problem. If you see the phosphorus use efficiency is less than 15%. And when there is an increase in organic matter, it will also serve as a reservoir for nutrients, particularly of the micronutrients. This organic matter may also improve soil microbial bias, bacterial community, and soil enzymatic activities. Now, these are the important sources of organic resources like farmyard manure, compost, biogas, slurry, pressed mud. As you know, it is a byproduct of sugar industry. Cakes, crop residue, poultry and piggery manure, sewage sludge, rural and urban waste, green manure. The cakes, they are very good source of organic resources, but if you do not apply the proper technology, instead of getting plus, you will get the negative. So for them, we have developed a technology I will discuss in the later part. You see, these are the different organic waste material. Vegetable waste, leaves, rice straw, wheat straw, fruit, their CN ratio is quite wide. So if you add to the soil directly, instead of getting a benefit, you will get the adverse effect. What will, because their CN ratio is very wide, when you add them, instead of, they will cause the immobilization of nutrients. So instead of getting a plus effect, you will get the negative. In case of dhancha, FI and poultry, sludge, cake, their CN ratio is around 20 or less than 20. You can apply them directly, you will get the benefit. So to qualify any organic, for organic farming, ratio should be around 20:1. But this, when you are adding only organic material, is composed is affected by 4 parts: CN ratio, moisture, temperature, oxygen supply. If all these 4 factors are optimum, then decomposition of organic matter would be high. This table shows how much of this organic resource they are available in India and how much the nutrient they can supply. In India at present, 1,688 million ton of organic resources are available. We calculated that how much nutrient potential they are supplying. So you can see from this organic resources, they calculated that they will supply 20.79 million ton. Out of this tapeable amount is only 2/3, that is 8.95 million ton. And the utilization only 1/3, that is 3.7 million ton for agriculture. If you consider all, about 25% requirement of the nutrient can be met by utilizing these organic resources, provided their technology developed, or particularly for those manure technology developed, they also need refine their technologies. Now this slide shows the utilization of cattle dung. In India, total dung available in India is around 79.2 million ton, and nutrient availability from this dung is 3.47 million ton. If you see, only 1/3 is recycled, rest is burnt as dung cakes. So this is a big problem. In villages, they are using as a, you can see this, for burning the material or preparing their own food. Now, the solution for this problem is go for installation of biogas plant. But in biogas plant, there are also problems. If you see the old technology biogas plant, in that slurry we are getting, that is very liquid. Major problem is the transportation. So we are advocating to the farmer that in the both side of your biogas plant, you dug 2 pits, put all waste material of your house, then slurry will come, it will decompose the compost will be ready. But it was a very lengthy process. Now the new technology has come. There is no need to mix dung and water. You put directly, and the slurry coming out is very semi-solid, and you can apply directly. And we have calculated that how the recommended rate is 10 ton per hectare. So you can see, so if apply, so this is the best alternate. We can use dung. By this you can get energy as well as you can say organic material which can enhance your yield. So recommended rate for slurry is 10 ton per hectare. We also compare the manure value of biogas slurry in FIM. If you consider almost the nutrient content NPK, all the content they are high in biogas slurry compared to FIM. CN ratio also quite low in case of biogas. In FIM ratio is very high. So 31.3 if you apply FIM. So you can say availability will be low because it will take time in decomposition. Now I will come to the main topic. Because what are the components of integrated nutrient management? There are 5 components: balanced use of fertilizer, organic resources, green manuring, biofertilizer, legume nutrition. So first component we will discuss balanced use of fertilizer. So concept of balanced fertilizer not confined to only NPK, but it applies to all essential nutrients. Balanced fertilizer must be based on the cropping system rather than a crop, so the productive system as a whole may be sustained. In balanced fertilizer, we have to follow 4 principles that apply right source of fertilizer at the right time, right rate, right place. If you follow this principle, use efficiency would be high. And I have gone through the literature that all the results of long term indicate that balanced fertilizer play a very important role in sustaining crop productivity and soil health. So sometimes a very important question people will ask, balanced fertilizer is a component of iron or iron is a component of balanced fertilizer? You can say balanced fertilizer is a component of iron, not the iron is the component. If you see all India consumption ratio in 1950-51, it was 7.9, 0.9 is to 1. The ratio at present is 6.7, 2.41. I calculated NP ratio. At present, this NP ratio is 2.8 is to 1. When India in 50-51, 8 is to 1. When for ideal, it should be 4 is to 2. It means we have to add nitrogen 2 times to phosphorus. But at present India, we are adding 2.8 times. So 0.8 times higher. It is a alarming situation. When you are adding this imbalanced use of fertilizer, it may cause deficiency of secondary, that is calcium, magnesium, sulfur, and micronutrients. So this imbalanced use of fertilizer play a very big role. And what we have observed, where this imbalanced use of fertilizer are called, sugar recovery is also low. Other nutrient content will also low. So we can say that's why we are advocating that the farmer they are adding excess nitrogen and not this other nutrients. So we have to not to add extras. So in general way, do not add nitrogen more than 2 times of the P or K. Second component is organic resource. This table shows the integrated effect of this INM on the productivity of different cropping system. It is a very long-term data. If you see cropping system, sorghum wheat, pearl millet wheat, rice wheat taken at Parbhani, Hanumangarh and Varanasi. Almost, so you can say irrespective of location, irrespective of cropping system, productivity of system as a whole was very high. When 50% of nitrogen was applied through NPK and 50% through FIM compared to 100% NPK. Similarly, for the similar type of result, we also observed for individual crop and for all the cropping system. So you can say irrespective of cropping system, irrespective of, you can say your all locations, all cropping system. So when we are integrating this, both NPK along with FIM or productivity was high. This table shows about the rice wheat productivity. You can see this, when we apply this FIM at the rate of 5 ton per hectare with N90 or with green manure 6 ton, yield was comparable. So it indicates that we can save 90 kg nitrogen when we are applying this FIM or green manure. This table shows the effect of INM 3 sites in 3 cropping system at Ranchi, Jaipur and this. So you can see when we apply this 100% NPK along with 5 ton FIM per hectare, yield was higher compared to when apply this 100% N or NPK or combination of NPK. So when we are integrating this NPK with the 5 ton, then the system productivity was high. In 1967, we initiated a long-term experiment with the objective whether we can save nitrogen with the addition of this FIM under per millet wheat cropping system. So we had taken 3 doses, 15, 30, 45. Later on, the doses were reduced. 3 mode of application, Rabi, Kharif, and both the season. 3 doses of Nitro 060 and Prof per million each. This table shows the yield of wheat increased with increasing level of FI. And almost at all the levels of applied FI, yield increase with increasing level of nitrogen from 0 to 1. So we are getting linear response. It indicates that higher levels, either due to addition of FIM, either the losses of nitrogen may have increased or nitrogen demand may have increased. So because we have taken level up to 120, so this experiment indicates that we have to increase the dosage to more than 120. Here we plot this intercepts versus the organic carbon. Means when the relationship shows with increase in 0.1% of organic carbon, we can increase the productivity of wheat crop to roughly 16 quintal per hectare, per millet around 3 quintal. And we also worked on case of rice wheat that were 10 quintal. But question arises, how much time it will take to increase 0.1% carbon? If you add the recommended amount of this organic manure, it will take roughly 3 years. When this amount will be increased, then this so much of the productivity can be increased. We try to see that we are adding this FIM level continuously, whether we can sustain our initial level. In case of available nitrogen, we are not able to sustain initial levels. The reason being because we have to measure here available nitrogen by using Saboya and Asija method. In that method, we are determining only ammonical nitrogen. So there are chances that the nitrogen may have converted to NO2 and NO3, and that part is not accounted for. That may be the one reason that available nitrogen was not sustained. So it is better to determine mineral nitrogen, then you can see this relationship. Available P we can sustain easily if you apply 8.2 ton of FIM, no problem. You can sustain available P by applying 2.4 ton of this available potassium. When we apply this organic manure in 2 modes, summer and winter, the buildup of organic carbon, NPK, zinc, manganese, iron, cover was higher when this FIM was applied in winter than summer. Reason being because temperature is high, rate of decomposition high, the losses would be high. So this was not the case here. So that's why the old recommendation now has been changed. Instead of applying manure in summer, you have to apply it in winter. So based on this results, we develop a technology, and that technology has been incorporated in the package and practice of the university. That soil fertility with respect to P and K can be maintained with 15 ton of FIM along with recommended level of nitrogen, the different per millet wheat cropping. So you can see when we are applying 15 ton of FIM along with recommended, no need to add PK or micronutrient. But you cannot save nitrogen, you have to add nitrogen. The addition of organic matter in winter season is, you can say, more beneficial compared to your, you can say, this summer. So to test the finding of this long-term experiment, we conducted demonstrations with IFCO collaboration at so many sites, more than 90 sites, under different cropping system followed in Haryana. And what we have found, that irrespective of cropping system, yield was higher when we applied the recommended dose of fertilizer along with 15 ton of FIM compared to the applied only recommended dose of fertilizer. So in all cropping system, in all demonstration, we find the benefits of this IN. We try to calculate that when we are adding this 15 ton of energy component of iron, how much carbon is increased. This graph shows the cumulative values I calculated per year, and the increase in organic carbon ranged from 0.03 to 0.6% per year. So roughly 0.02. So if you increase per year in 3 year increase to 0.1, then so much of the productivity can be increased, what I have prescribed in my previous slides. Available P range is from 0.9 to 3.3% kg per hectare. Available K, it may increase from 38 to 109 kg per hectare. So now there is one thing, this technology increased productivity, maintained soil health. We also calculated the benefit cost ratio of different cropping system. So benefit cost ratio range from 2 to 10. So it indicates that system is increasing productivity maintain soil health and increase the farmer income. So this system can be easily adopted by the farmer. So on the basis of the last two experiments, another experiment was initiated in 1995. In that experiment, we have, instead of taking FIM, we also take press mud and poultry manure. And you can see this shows the lowest yield of wheat and pearl millet was found when only FIM, poultry manure, or press mud are applied. But when we apply this FIM along with the recommended dose of N, there is a significant increase in the yield. And the yield was comparable with the FIM applied at the 15 ton along with recommended dose of N and P. So it indicates that whatever the nitrogen relies from organic manure, that was not sufficient to meet the remaining nitrogen requirement of the crop. I have said lowest yield was observed when you apply FIM poultry manure press. That's why if you go for organic farming, your yield will be low. That's why we are advocating those farmers which are interested to go for organic farming. They have to take those crops whose nutrient requirement is low. For example, basmati wheat, basmati rice, vegetable. You can grow organically without losing yield, but if you are taking high yield variety, there will be problem. This table shows what will be the effect on the properties of soils. You can say during 1995 organic carbon 0.39. Where we apply half of the recommended dose of NP, we are not able to sustain the organic carbon level. But where we apply this FIM, press or poultry manure at the recommended amount, there is appreciable amount of the increase in organic carbon. But if you see the data of nitrogen, initial nitrogen, we are not able to sustain. Although there was no problem, P and K was sustained in almost all treatment where you applied only organic manure or along with the recommended dose of NPK. That's the same reason, because here also we measure the available nitrogen. So picture was not clear. So another technology developed on the basis of this result, that soil fertility with P and K and micronutrients can be maintained with the application of 15 ton FIM or 7 ton press mud or 5 ton poultry manure. But we cannot maintain the, you can say, this status of nitrogen. So when we are adding this fertilizer, no need to add phosphorus, potash and micronutrients, so we can save 100% P, K and micronutrients, but nitrogen we cannot save, we have to add the nitrogen. Reason being there are so many losses also in case of nitrogen problem. Another long-term initiative under the rice wheat cropping system. In that long-term experiment, they compare the balanced and imbalanced use of fertilizer. This table shows the dry material of rice, corn and wheat. You can see when we apply the imbalanced use of fertilizer, yield was lower compared to when we apply the balance, that is NPK along with zinc. And the highest yield was observed when we apply the recommended dose of NPK zinc along with 15 ton FIM, followed by, you can say, green manuring, burnt rice husk and press mud. Particularly when we go for green manuring, we apply 50% of the recommended dose of nitrogen along with green manuring. The yield was comparable to the recommended dose. So it indicates that you can save 50% of nitrogen when we are going for green manuring. This again the data of that same experiment, that what will be built of the chemical property. So you can see when in control, when we don't add any fertilizer, we are not able to sustain organic carbon. It indicates that the crop residue left in the soil was not sufficient to sustain the level. But when we apply the recommended dose of NPK, or the level of organic carbon NPK was sustained. So you can say roughly when we apply 15 ton, increase in carbon was around 0.19%. In case of press mud, increase was 0.24%, and in green manuring 0.07%. So you can say with the addition of this organic resource along with the recommended dose, there is appreciable amount increase in the organic carbon. Similarly, result observed in case of NPK. This table shows what will be the effect on the physical property. When we are adding this different levels of FIM, 0, 50, 30 and 45, it may increase the organic carbon content of the soil. When the organic carbon content of the soil increase, then it will decrease the bulk density but increase hydraulic conductivity and infiltration rate. Why this decrease in bulk density? Because bulk density is mass upon volume. When we are adding this bulky metal, then volume will increase. Then we divide by volume, your bulk density will decrease. So bulk density. Hydraulic conductivity infiltration rates increase because when we are adding organic carbon, it will help in aggregation, or you can say this water stability or water retention. So this both the property may be improved. This table shows when you can say what will be the effect of this when you apply on organic or inorganic or combination of this. So you can say data we have taken after 4 years, so not much, no significant differences were observed in case of pH and EC. But in case of organic carbon, increase was higher in case of organic treatment compared to inorganic or applied in the combination. Similarly, bulk density decrease when you apply 100% organic or the combination of both, and reverse was the case of available N and P. In another long-term experiment, we measure this bulk density infiltration rate. But in this also, when we apply 50% nitrogen through inorganic, 50% through FIM, or 50% through green manure, bulk density decrease and filtration rate increase. So you can see when we are adding this organic fertilizer, organic resources along with inorganic, it will improve the, you can see this physical property, and ultimately that will improve your use efficiency. This table shows what will be the long-term effect on the, you can see this enzyme activity. If you see, enzyme activities were lower when we apply only fertilizer compared to the organic treatments. The reason being because we are applying substrate carbon. So their microorganisms may be activated and more synthesized. If you see, especially in case of dehydrogenase and urease, when we are adding, say, FIM, and then we are adding this N and P, there is a decrease. And reverse the case of alkaline phosphate. Possible reason, because in case of this dehydrogenase urease, rate of decomposition peak observed during the crop growing season. So with subsequent time, the rate of decomposition decrease, so their amount may increase. But in case of alkaline phosphatase, it is increased with the addition of N and P fertilizer. Reason being because when we are applying this alkaline phosphate, 3 substrate carbon, nitrogen, P was observed. When higher P was observed, then the activity of this alkaline phosphatase increase, and as a whole, we get the higher amount of alkaline phosphatase, particularly in treatment where you apply organic manure along with the recommended dose of fertilizer. Another this show what will be the effect when you apply NPK fertilizer alone or in combination with FIM. So you can say application of NP fertilizer alone or with FIM or green manure, there is a substantial increase in biomass, carbon, urease activity, alkaline phosphatase, but though there was only little effect in case of dehydrogenase, although there is increase, but effect was very small. This shows that what will be the effect of this on nutrient nitrogen use efficiency. So you can see, irrespective of soil type, irrespective of location, irrespective of crops, when we are integrating this NPK fertilizer along with this FIM, the use efficiency is increased. So it is almost similar type of result we observed in case of all the 3 soil type at all the location with Dhana, Palampur, and Pandra. So by integrating fertilizer, we can increase use efficiency. If we increase the use efficiency, so we can save a lot of money. So our economy will be increased because we are importing fertilizer from foreign countries, so we can save a lot of money. This table shows what will be the effect on phosphorus and potassium. Similarly, irrespective of soil type, irrespective of location, irrespective of crop, phosphorus use efficiency and potassium use efficiency was higher when NPK was integrated with FIM compared to applied NPK or NP alone. Similar thing, when we are adding this FIM, it will improve physical, chemical, and biological condition of soil. When all the 3 will be higher, subsequently use efficiency would be higher. Crop residue management. In India, roughly crop 603.46 million ton crop residue are available. The nutrient availability from this residue is 4.86 million, but only 1/3 is recycled. This table shows when we are incorporating crop residue, burn or incorporated plus green manure, so higher effect on the microbial biomass was higher when we incorporated the crop residue along with green manure compared to burning or incorporated. If you see in Haryana or Punjab, roughly 30 to 90% of total rice straw is burned in Haryana. So what will be the effect of this burning? There is a loss of organic matter and nutrient. And if you burn, you can say the nutrient, there is a lot of appreciable amount loss of nutrient or organic matter. It may also cause loss in biodiversity. It will also deteriorate the soil. It will mean emission of greenhouse gases due to global warming may cause atmospheric pollution. Now, what is the possible technology that we can manage this rice straw? There are three technologies, because 90% of the rice is harvested with combined harvest. The combined harvester they are using simple combiner, but nowadays a new technology has come that you have to harvest the paddy with combined harvester with your super straw management system is attached. Next, IERI Delhi has developed a decomposer. If you use that, that is also so, and go for, we have developed technology with ECRISAT, go for rice straw compost. This is the combined harvester in which your straw management system is harvested. What is the benefit of that? It will cut the paddy straw into small pieces and spread uniformly. So when it will spread uniformly, it will conserve soil moisture and very easy in sowing of wheat with efficiency. So we have advocated to the government that there is a need to make a law that paddy crops should be harvested combined which attached with super straw management system. This is the use of Pusa biodecomposer. Pusa biodecomposer is nothing but a fungi-based liquid solution contains 7 stages. And you can say to spray for 1 hectare, we need only 4 capsules and their cost is only ₹20. So what we have to do, we have to dissolve this 4 capsule in about roughly 25 liter water. And also put jaggery and chickpea flour, leave it for overnight, next day, filter it, then dilute it to further 500 liter, then spray in 1 hectare. So within 20 days, your straw will be softened, decompose, and compost would be ready. So it is a very good system. So within 20 days, your rice straw can be managed. This is the technology you developed that if you harvested manually, then we can prepare rice straw. You can say dissolve rice straw, dip rice straw in a solution for about 3 minutes. So in 1000 liter, you have to add 10 gram of Aspergillus fungi and 1 kg of urea. If Aspergillus fungi is not available, then you add dung. That will serve. So you can dip the rice straw for 3 minutes, then drain out the excess water, then put it on the surface of the soil. You can go for stacking and then prepare a heap, cover it with plastic sheets, and maintain 70% moisture. Do 2 turnings. Your compost would be ready within 300 per, and the manure compost is almost equal or better than vermicompost. So this is a very good technology. We can prepare compost within 3 months. So next component is biofertilizer. Biofertilizer, cost-effective, eco-friendly, renewable source of plant nutrients. As you know, rhizobium. Everybody ready that rhizobium is a successful legume biofertilizer, particularly in case of legume. But in case of azotobacter and PSB, results are inconsistent. So what we will advocate, whatever you are spending, you will get more than that. So biofertilizer, you apply with recommended dose of fertilizer or the organic manure, your result will be high. So you can say it is also advisable that you apply biofertilizer. We always say, we cannot say that increase to 10% yield, but you will, if you spend base 10, you will get a benefit of 100. Next component is green manure. It will mobilize soil nutrient reserve, create better condition for soil microorganism. We can save mineral nitrogen by fixing atmosphere. These results shows from the literature that if you go for green manure, roughly 40 to 60 kg of nitrogen you can save by green manure comparison. And simultaneously your health, soil also may be maintained. Next component is last stage, legume rotation. It will improve your physical, chemical, and biological conditions. Soil, it will increase crop productivity, maintain soil health, insoluble phosphorus, increase microbial activity, and long-term results experiment indicated that when we are going for this legume rotation, you can save 25 to 50%. That's why we are advocating after harvesting of paddy, it is advisable to go for sowing of moong, because many varieties they are available. They can be harvested within 60 days. So during this leftover period, if you utilize it, you can save a lot of money. If some farmer is interested to go for organic farming, by this sowing this moong crop in between 2 cycles, you can grow basmati rye organically in that field by adding with the organic fertilizer. Now there are the 3 bases for adding fertilizer. Soil testing based on the package and practice used for targeted equation side sweetening. Soil testing, we are advocating with you can say only the small farmer they are adding fertilizer based on the soil testing. Particularly those farmer educated they are using, but problem is a small and marginal farmer they are not adding fertilizer. So we are advocating if you are not able to add the fertilizer on the basis of soil testing, it is advisable to add your fertilizer based on the package and practice developed by them. So we are saying that the package and practice developed by the university, they are the Bible, they are the Gita. If you buy them, they cost only ₹50 or so. You can get all these recommendations: what seed, what fertilizer, what variety. If farmer, they are, you can say, highly educated, or you can say very progressive farmer, we are advocating, because in ICR there is a project is already going on, soil test crop response, and the basis of this they have developed a targeted equation. If you are interested that I want so much yield, you fix any target, you give us the soil sample, we will go for the analysis, we will give the target, you will get the yield plus minus 5%. So there is no problem. Site specific nutrient management. Site specific nutrient management, we are optimizing demand and supply. What is available, what is required. So we can edit this. So in SSNM, so 50% we are adding at the sowing time, the rest we are adding basis of the requirement of the crop. So we are using 3 simple tools. First, this chlorophyll meter. Take a leaves, measure chlorophyll content, because we have conducted so many experiments, we have prepared a table that if so much of chlorophyll is there, you have to add so much of the nitrogen. So this is leaf color chart. It is very cheap, maybe cost around ₹100. 3 panel, 4 panel, 6 panel. Take the leaves match with this, and similarly there is one table that from which panel it is met, you have to add so much of the. This is green seeker. This is remote sensing technology. In case of chlorophyll meter leaf color part, we are considering only color. In case of this green seeker, we are considering color plus foliage. So air situation would be more accurate. But the cost of this green seeker is around 1 lakh. So you can say this, by following this SSNM practices, we can save nitrogen, we can improve productivity, and we can maintain our soil. Now you can see use efficiency of nutrient is very, very low. Nitrogen 30 to 40%, phosphorus 15 to 20%, micronutrient zinc, manganese, iron, copper less than 5%, potassium 60%, sulfur 20%. Potassium is a big problem. Luxury consumption, even crop may not have a plant will take. Now question arises, how we can increase this efficiency? If you increase the efficiency, we can save a lot of money. So first we have to apply balanced amount of fertilizer based on the soil testing. So balanced fertilizer of the must be based on the cropping system rather than a crop. Apply half of the nitrogen, full amount of phosphorus, potassium, zinc at the time of sowing. Rest nitrogen you can apply later on. What we are advocating, second dose of urea. There is one heavy texture soil, low texture soil. In case of high texture, the medium to heavy texture soil, what we are saying, in case of second dose, first apply urea, then apply irrigation. In case of light texture soil, first apply irrigation, then water will come, then apply nitrogen. If you follow this rule, your use efficiency would be high. So you can see in heavy texture soil, first apply urea, then irrigate. In light texture soil, apply irrigation. When it come to water position, so around field capacity moisture, then apply, then use efficiency. If suppose in case of standing crop, there is a deficiency of nitrogen zinc, so it is advised to go for the foliar spray of 0.5% zinc plus 2.5% of the urea. I have already advocated apply organic manure in winter rather than summer season. I also advocated use of fire fertilizer, legume. It is well tested, no problem. but azotobacter and phosphorus sulfur in case of non, it must be added. So by doing, you will get a benefit. Cost ratio would be very high. We have already advocated go for green manure, legume, and rotational size-specific nutrient management. That will also improve the use efficiency. Do not go for soil application of manganese and iron in upland conditions. Go only for foliage, because if you apply Mn and Fe in the soil application, then it may convert to other forms of nutrient that may not be taken by them. In case of this lowland conditions, there is no problem. That's why if there is a deficiency of manganese and iron, particularly upland condition, it is always to go for foliar spray rather than a soil. If you add soil, that is of no use. Now regarding zinc, I want to tell you one thing. In market, two types of zincs are available. One is containing this zinc sulfate heptahydrate containing 25% of your zinc. Another is monohydrate containing around 30%. So recommended dose is 10 kg of the zinc heptahydrate and 6 kg of the zinc monohydrate. But the zinc monohydrate, it is manufactured by IFCO and CRIBCO. They are selling a bag of 4 and 5 kg. Farmer usually apply 4 or 5 kg. Then it comes to us that I am getting a deficiency because they are adding a suboptimal dose. So if you have to avoid the deficiency of zinc, you have to add the recommended dose of the zinc, not the suboptimal dose. New dimensions in the nutrient management. So many, I have visited so many places. There are so many ad hoc recommendations. You apply 15 tons, 7, but question arises. From where you will get this? So for that, you have to develop the location specific technology for different cropping system and agroclimatic. But because we are using this organic manure press mud simply by broadcast method, you have seen in field. But now the technology has changed that you have to go for band placement for this organic manure. If you go for band placement, then it will cover more area and the productivity will be high. When we are going for your this green manuring, if you, because we usually incorporate after 4 to 5 weeks. So before incorporation, if you go for foliar spray, then decomposition rates will be high, and then you get the more benefit and you get without foliar spray of nitrogen. Now conclusion. INM technology increase the productivity and production of different crops followed in India and also maintain soil fertility. This technology play important role in increasing farmers' income. Success of INM depend on how precisely the different components of INM have been used. Addition of organic manure in winter season is more beneficial than summer season. Application of P and micronode fertilizer can be avoided with the application of organic manure with recommended dose of 25% of the nutrient requirement of the Indian agriculture can be made by utilizing variation. Now, these are the major constant. In my one of the slides, so total available nutrients is 12.7 ton, tappable only 2/3, present utilized only 1/3. So there is a need to refine the technology of the utilization of organic resources. Adoption of INM level is poor because non-availability of organic resources, increasing use of cattle manure as a source, time required to grow green manure. Poor and inconsistent crop response to biofertilizer, lack of knowledge and poor advisory services, lack of skill and produce high quality compost. Now suggestions. Create mass awareness among farmers about recycling of organic resources. Loans should be provided to farmers which are adopting INM. We have to educate the farmer through media, mass awareness program, demonstrations about the benefits of INM. We have to motivate Krishi Vigyan Kendra, fertilizer agency, non-government organization to propagate the usefulness of INM. In formation of balanced use of fertilizer, it should be transferred to the farmer. If you see the adoption rate of the technology about soil testing, only less than 10%. So we have to try hard that we have to increase this to the farmer. Now future research need. We have to determine what are the causes for the decline in crop productivity and production. It should be studied at a particular site and find out the solution for this problem. There is a need to the location-specific INM technology should be an effective transfer to the farmer to sustain the productivity of cropping system. We have to develop the models for different agroclimatic zones so that we can provide the guidance and in situ efficient use of fertilizer. Now, in situ crop residue recycling, which compost technology should be refined, because we have to develop so much technology that can be easily adopted by the farm. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor Antil, for an excellent and detailed presentation. I now request the participants to ask their questions. We'll also be posting the speaker's contact details in the chat window. Now, participants, any questions, please? Please indicate your willingness. Yes, Mr. Siddhappa.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Professor. I mean, regarding fertilizer application, most of the fertilizers contain sulfur. So, do we need to apply additionally fertilizer sulfur?
We advocate sulfur, we have to apply it mostly in case of oil seed crops, because when we are adding sulfur, it will improve the quality of oils.
Mr. Siddhappa, you got the answer?
How about plantation crops, sir? Yes, sir. Like coffee or coconut. Does it require sulfur, sir?
Pardon?
How about, do we need to apply sulfur for plantation crops, sir? Like coffee?
No, but we advocate that the recommended amount, because you have to go in the package and practice. If it is recommended amount, that you have to apply, because plantation is related to horticulture.
Okay. Thank you, Professor. Thank you, Krishnapati, sir.
Thank you. Mr. Sudhiranjan Mandal next.
Thank you for the very table-wise details of all the farmyard all the manures and fertilizers given to crops. I wanted to ask you something regarding this rice straw management.
Yes.
I think that rice straw management is same as what is called mulching in organic farming.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. That's why, sir, what we have said, because 90 to 95% rice is harvested with combined harvester. Old system of combined, that leaves lot of rice straw. It is too difficult to sowing of your wheat, because the new system in which the straw management system is fitted or attached, it will cut the straw into small pieces, spread uniformly. It will act as a good mulch, as well as it will be decomposed very fast, and sowing of wheat with happy seed or zero till machine would be very easy. Because in Haryana, Punjab and this western UP, there is a big problem. Around 70% farmer they are, you can say, burning this rice straw. Also they can, because in Haryana they have one product, they are making the baling of this rice straw that will be used for generation of electricity. And PUSA has also, I shown you one slide, PUSA IRI also develop a biodecomposer that will also decompose within 20 days. So that will also be a good solution.
Sir, this decomposer you told, the same, it is developed as waste decomposer?
Yeah, same process.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, sir.
Thank you. Any more questions, participants? Okay, that is all we have for the day. We have now completed the round of questions.
They can send me on my mail. I will give the reply. Okay.
Oh, sure, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
I'd like to thank Professor Dr. S Antil on behalf of Agriculture Information for taking his time to speak with us with a very interesting presentation. I now request the organizer of the meeting, Ms. Rajni Jain, to please close the meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Lakshmipati. I like to thank the speaker.
Organizer, I got one more question being posted now. I see it in the chat window. Doctor, I got one question from the chat window. It says our soils are calcareous. We are facing chlorosis problem, low yield due to phosphate and micronutrient fixation. How to do nutrient management in horticultural crops? This is a question from Mr. Ashok. Dr. Antil, can you please answer?
Yeah, because there is one thing. Because we are adding this, I have already told, we are adding imbalanced use of fertilizer. We are adding excess nitrogen compared to PL. We are not adding a very small amount. So that is a big problem. That's why we are, if you add this organic manure, then your soil fertility may be improved. That's why in plantation crop, we have to add FIM plus nutrient in a balanced proportion. Because in India, there is a big problem. We are not using excess fertilizer, but we are using excess nitrogen. So when you are adding in excess nitrogen, you can say you will get the adverse effect. So in balanced proportion, we have to add. Otherwise, situation will be alarming with coming time. Our soil may be deteriorate with time. Our fertility will be deteriorate.
Oh, thank you, Dr. Antil, for answering the question. Now I request the organizer to close the meeting. Thank you.
Sir, one more question, if you don't mind, sir.
Please go ahead. Yes,
Sir, Andrew, sir, regarding carbon deficiency in soils, you had said it will take 3 years. But what is your take on the use of biochar in soils?
Yes, biochar is a good solution, and the amount of biochar you recommended was only 1 ton per hectare. And it contains resistant metals, so you can say long-lasting effect of biochar would be better than this all organic manure, because in India not much work has been done on biochar, but in countries like Australia, USA, they have done tremendous work in biochar. Because in Haryana, I meet one farmer. He has installed a very small unit, and he is burning this, because biochar we are preparing burning of crop residue in absence of oxygen. So what he is doing, he has prepared a small unit, and he is making a lot of profit. He is preparing biochar from rice straw and also from sugarcane trace. These are the waste material, or pearl mullet bungla, because nobody is not using. So he is preparing. So biochar is a very good solution, even better than FIM and other thing. And recommended range is only 1 ton per hectare. Very good question, and very good, you can say, need of that 2 days requirement to build up the carbon in the soil.
Thank you, sir.
welcome. Okay, thank you so much. And then now I request the organizer to close the meeting.
Thank you, Mr. Lakshmipati. I'd like to thank the speaker, Professor S Antil, for taking the time to talk with us. I also like to thank all the participants for their time. The meeting will now be closed.